Pip had always known the sound of ice. It was a sound like singing wind sliding over snow, glaciers groaning softly in their sleep, the gentle clack of flippers against frozen ground. So when Pip opened his eyes and heard only silence, broken by a distant hiss, he knew something was terribly wrong. The ground beneath him was warm. Pip scrambled upright, blinking. There was no ice, no ocean, no endless white horizon. Instead, golden sand stretched in every direction, rolling like frozen waves beneath a sky that burned bright blue. The hiss he'd heard came from the wind dragging itself across dunes. A desert Pip whispered, though he had never seen one before. The sun beat down mercilessly, and Pip's feathers felt heavy, as if they were wearing the wrong coat to the wrong world witch. Of course they were. He waddled forward, each step sinking slightly into the sand. It was exhausting. Ice was firm and honest. Sand shifted, tricked, gave way. Pip didn't know how he'd arrived there, but one moment he'd been diving through cold water, chasing silvery fish, and the next heat, light, and emptiness. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time melted in the desert. Pip grew thirsty, his throat dry and tight. He began to think of home. The taste of salt water, the way the ice reflected the moon, the comforting presence of the colony huddled together against the cold. The memory made his chest ache. Just as Pip felt he couldn't take another step, he noticed something strange near the crest of a dune, a shadow. He climbed the slope, flippers trembling, and found a tall cactus standing proudly against the sky. At its base sat a small pool of water gathered in a smooth stone hollow. Pip stared in disbelief. Water. He leaned forward and drank, the coolness shocking and wonderful. It wasn't ocean water, but it was enough. As he rested, a lizard scurried past, stopping to eye him curiously. "You're very far from home," the lizard said. Pip nodded. "I think I'm lost." The lizard flicked its tail. "The desert does that. But it also shows the way if you listen." That night, as the sun sank and the heat faded, the desert transformed. The air cooled, stars exploded across the sky, brighter than Pip had ever seen. He lay on the sand, watching them, and noticed how the wind traced paths between the dunes, always moving, always returning. Pip stood. He didn't know where the desert ended or how far home truly was. But he knew one thing. He was still a penguin. He still knew how to endure, how to keep going when the world was harsh and unforgiving. So Pip followed the wind. Days later, the sand slowly gave way to rock, and the air grew cooler. Mist appeared on the horizon, and then, at last, Pip smelled it, the sharp, glorious scent of salt. The ocean waited as Pip slid into the water, feathers finally cooling. He looked back once at the desert shimmering in the distance. It had been cruel, yes, but it had also taught him something important. Even when you are lost in the wrong world, you can still find your way one determined waddle at a time.